I've been an entrepreneur all my life to just like, you're always thinking about how to improve. And all of a sudden you're like, you lock the door and you turn the lights off. And that's the end of business as you know it. My name is Dave Walters. I'm the managing partner of Smartwell Coffee, Simple Coffee. Our Morristown location has been around for about 15 years. So 2019, we're kicking butt. You know, our sales are up like 12% for the year. You know, things are great. Store's packed out. We got lines out the door. We had some properties we were looking at. We're gonna, open up maybe 2 more stores in 2020. And then we start hearing about, Wuhan pandemic, people getting sick, and every morning, we got our 50, 60 people coming in here. Everybody's hanging around. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I think we're gonna be okay. And then we weren't. So now it's March and we're still pretty busy in the morning. So I'm thinking to myself, like, what if some of these people have COVID? Like, we're all just hanging out here. And like one morning, you couldn't even get in here. So I remember the defining moment. It was a Sunday, we're busy all day, starts to die down around 3 o'clock. All of a sudden, a rush of people coming here, like out of nowhere. And we're like, the heck's going on? Nobody's social distancing. We're trying to make drinks fast enough. People are all waiting for the drinks. So there's probably like 30 people in here. And I said to somebody, what's going on? They're like, oh, Starbucks closed. And I'm like, Starbucks closed the door? They're like, yeah, they just locked the door at 3 o'clock and said they're not open anymore. I'm thinking to myself, holy mackerel, Starbucks is shut down. Perfect opportunity for us to make a fortune, but we worked through the day, closed up and everything. And I went home and I said to my wife, what do you think? I think we should just lock the door. And we didn't have to, there was no mandate to lock the door, but I said, nobody's social distancing, people are getting sick. I think it's time to just shut down, which is like, I've been an entrepreneur all my life to just like, you're always thinking about how to improve, how to make more money, how to get better service. You're constantly spending your whole day doing that. And all of a sudden you're like, you lock the door and you turn the lights off. And that's the end of business as you know it. So then what rolls along is government assistance. I said to my wife, hey, we've paid in all our lives for unemployment. We got to file for unemployment. We have no income coming in, right? We need it now. Then you realize there's all these programs that they're setting up, right? We got PPP, we got EIDL loans, the state government has Economic Development Authority grants. This stuff's coming up. I'm going to seminars. They're blabbling away about this grant. This one could be forgiven, but this one can't be forgiven. And this is what you need for this one. You got to apply for this one. And you're like, oh my God. So not only do you not have a job, you're worrying about your whole investment going down the tubes. You're like, your whole paradigm changes, right? And now you got to start figuring out like the race for the money, because everybody's trying to get the money, obviously, and you got to get in there first. We get into this whole mess of trying to get this paperwork together and get these loans and grants. So we got the PPP money for the stores. Before that, I started thinking about what we need to do to open up safely. There was a lot of concern when we were closing down with employees that were afraid. So we realized, when tried to bring people back, that we don't have anybody. No kitchen help, no baristas, no cashiers. We basically have nobody. A customer that comes in here, he's like, you should start thinking about plexiglass because, right now it's $75 a sheet, but they tell me it's going to go to like $200 a sheet in about 5 weeks when everybody realizes they need it. We ordered all our plexiglass, took all our measurements, started trying to figure out, what the best cleaning, sanitizing solutions would be. And I really needed to make a case to my employees that we're going to be safe because everybody was scared. Like, we're 6 weeks into this thing and nobody knows what the heck's going on. It's April now, got the schedule going, but we had no food, no sandwiches, no salads, anything. We're basically just serving coffee and trying to get open again. And successfully, we got open. Since I'm the one who's been here the longest and paid my rent on time, I've gotten no rent break. The partnership was donated some money from a bunch of millionaires and billionaires around here, 600,000, I think. So they start this program where if the landlord will give you a 20% break for 3 months, they'll write a check to the landlord for all 3 months of rent up front. My landlord somehow says it's not in our corporate policy. So I'm like, you have a corporate policy about getting a rent break paid from some other organization? Like, I don't get it. Like, you know, I'm on the ground, you know, do you have to kick me while I'm down here, you know? So we didn't get that rent break. You know, COVID at the beginning, I don't know if, you know, people realize this, but they really didn't know anything about it. You know, could you get it from like, you know, touching a surface on a counter? What was going on? So the hospital's overwhelmed, you know, and the healthcare workers don't want to go home because they don't know, they're living with their parents or their parents are living with them, they have kids and everything. So a lot of them opted to stay in the hotel. So the problem with that is they have nowhere to get food. The restaurants are dying on the vine here, you know, so like I was thinking maybe we could ask people to donate when you go get takeout food, because the big thing was like, go get takeout food and keep the restaurants up and running. That was the message of the day, you know. So a friend of mine, she said, what if we try to put a program together where when they go get takeout food, they buy a gift card, they leave it there, and then we'll go pick them up and we'll deliver them to Atlantic Health and they'll distribute them to the healthcare workers in the hotels. We start that program. I sit home, I build in one day, I build a whole website, trying to talk to the hospital administrators, you know, the hospital fund. And then we started getting an influx of money. You know, we had 50, 80, 100, 120,000. This thing just starts growing exponentially. We spent all the money, we supported, you know, the restaurants, the healthcare workers in the hotels. Then we moved on to adopt a business Morristown. So somebody else, one of my customers had an idea to like, let's try to do some GoFundMe and see if people will donate and, you know, we can get these people rent money for January, February, March. So built another website, did all the collateral work, posters, logos, all that stuff for that. And we launched that. And I think we raised a couple 100,000. I don't even know what it ended up being. So, you know, some people got rent money. You know, if these businesses go under, like, what do we got left? You know, these people lose their, you know, life savings, they lose their job, they, you know, all the people that work for them. You know, you just try to do your best to help people, you know? So that's what we did. You know, we've been here in this town for 15 years. I think this town has a great balance. You know, you could tell by the real estate prices, you know, over the years, people want to come down here. People are retiring out in Mendham. They come down here, they want to buy a house because you can walk around town, you can go to restaurants at night, you know, plenty of parks. There's some great parks around here. You know, it's a phenomenal town. It's a town that works together. You know, it's a great community.